everyone, I'm Mishka and welcome back to my channel. So in today's episode of Cinderella Phenomenon, we are finally beginning the third route, and that is Rumpel. So I just, right now I'm just where we first encounter his storyline and stuff, and I think this is, I don't know what chapter it is, honestly. But yeah, we're gonna be starting here, and yeah, but before we get started, make sure to subscribe button and share this video with your friends so they can find out about my amazing challenges to get right now. So yeah, let's get started. I hope you enjoy. Julian and I found an injured man while we were doing our rounds. We brought him here. An injured man? Wait, what were you doing outside? It's almost 1 in the morning. Nothing you need to worry about. Lady Parfait and Anise are attending to the man now. These people, will they just help anyone they find on the streets? What if this man is dangerous? Do you think the witches got to him? It's possible. We'll have to find out when he wakes up. The next day, Parfait reveals that the man only suffered minor head injuries. She says that she expects him to wake soon. I look at the tray of food in my hands. Anise has asked me to bring it up to the stranger's room while she finishes the rest of her cooking. I would never have been asked to do this in the palace. Goodness, what's that portrait done to you to deserve that look? I must say that it's odd to see the princess doing something nice for someone. What do you want? I have something to ask the man that was brought in last night. Seeing as you're being good enough to deliver breakfast, I thought I'd just tag along with you. If you're going, you just bring this tray up by yourself. You are not in any position to delegate your duties to me, Miss Lucette. Come on, our guest must be famished. Seeing no way out, I followed Dolores to the spare room the man had been put in. Come in. Rumpel. I thought the man would have been old, but to my surprise, he looks young, probably in his early 20s. He seems lost in reverie as he stares at a small notebook. Good morning. Good to see you're awake and breathing. The man looks up at her when she speaks. The instant he sees us, his eyes widen. Why is he staring at us like that? Am I dead? What? I'm in heaven, or maybe. You two are angels that have fallen out of it? I see. What can a humble gentleman like myself do for you lovely ladies? Oh my god. Ah, you could join me on this bed. It's very comfortable and there's plenty of room for the both of you. I'll follow your lead on this one, princess. Princess? Ah, of course. Such a beautiful lady can only be a princess. Look at the noble way you hold up the tray. Oh my god. I want to throw the tray. Yeah. Can I throw the tray at him? I'm tempted to let you. Feisty as well? It would be still my beating heart. Huh? You... Oh, he's awake. Another lovely lady has entered my chambers. I don't think my heart can handle the perfection of 3 of you at once. Perfect. I think I know how Casanova got those head injuries. Some lady decided that she'd had enough of this rubbish and wanted to punish him. Dolores, patience. He may not even be the right state of mind right now. He did take injuries to the head after all. The man finally stops to look just at me. He narrows his eyes and stares so hard I almost want to slap him. What? You're familiar. But no, it's impossible. Aren't you the crown princess? What are you doing here? Oh, he recognizes us. If he knows, then he's... Well, he's definitely not a witch or a fairy. Can only mean one thing if he recognizes the ice princess. What is your name, good sir? I would answer any questions you ask me, madam, but... The man looks down at the notebook in his hand. I don't remember. Amnesia? I know everything about Angielle, and yet I don't know the first thing about myself. Except that I have the 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐿𝐵𝐻𝐼𝐻 curse. Oh, 𝐕𝐕𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻𝐼𝐻 skin? Oh my god, is that a fairy tale? I knew it. He's got the Fairytale Curse. Fairytale Curse? Do you remember how to break it? From what I remember, I need to somehow collect 3 memories and get them to appear in this journal as entries. He shows us the notebook he's been holding onto since we entered the room. My first memory is of waking up and holding this. I thought there would be information in here, but it's empty. Another victim of the curse. You must be tired. Lucette will leave your breakfast here and will give you some time to yourself. We'll be outside if you need anything else. 𝐕𝐕𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻𝐼𝐻. What is that fairy tale about? Dolores does not do a good job of hiding her laughter. She snorts and I cross my arms embarrassed. Mother burned the fairy tales in the past before I got a chance to read all of them. Fine, I'll keep it short. Once upon a time, there was a girl that was said to be able to spin straw into gold. The king found her and locked her up in a tower. He said he wouldn't let her out until she turned all the straw in the room into gold. But the girl was just a regular human girl. She knew she would never be able to turn the straw into gold and feared that she would be locked up forever. That was when an odd little man appeared before her and offered to do the job for her if she gave him something in return. The girl gave him her necklace, and the man spent the rest of the night spinning the straw into gold. However, the girl wasn't released. The second night, she was given more straw to spin, and the little man appeared once more. This time, she gave him a ring. On the third night, the king ordered her to spin the straw one last time, and if she did, she would be released and made his queen. However, that night, the girl had nothing left to give the little man, so they made an agreement. He would spin the straw into gold for her so long as she gave him her first child. I personally never understood why the girl would want to marry the king in the first place. Hush, I'm trying to tell a story here. Years passed, and the queen finally gave birth to her first child. That night, the odd little man returned and demanded his due, but the queen didn't want to give up her child. The man then said that if he didn't take the child, or he wouldn't take the child if the queen was able to guess his name in 3 days. The man's name was 𝐕𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻𝐼𝐻. Did she guess it? Oh yeah, the night before her time was officially up, the queen was drawn to the voice by the sound of a little voice. She saw the little man celebrating his upcoming victory, singing about nobody had or ever would guess his real name, which was 𝐕𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻𝐼𝐻. He does not sound particularly smart. So agrees the general populace. Sometimes I wonder how Hans was able to come up with such tall tales. Well, the marching is opening up soon. I expect another busy day. Especially busy for you, Lucette. You need to start coming up with good deeds. The amnesiac Casanova was allowed to stay at the marchand with the other boarders. Because he still seemed capable, Parfait set him to work as one of the marchand's servers. And Anis's protest that he remain in bed fell on deaf ears. Parfait couldn't very well throw him out, not while knowing that he had nowhere to go. I would be incapable of showing him such kindness given all the nonsense he spouts at us. The people that frequent the marchand begin to steadily ignore me altogether, like I do not exist. It is better than the stares and the hateful looks. Rumpel, you aren't here to flirt. But the slutty lady is unattended. Sir Rumpel, please, you're making me blush. Because the man can remember his name, he fashioned one from his own curse, Rumpel. I think it suits him. I will never understand Parfait. This amorphous waste of space is about as useful as karma. I returned. All right. Oh wait. I want to read this. So, this is our new housemate. We have not had the opportunity to meet. I am... I love this part. We are all surprised when Rumpel suddenly reaches out to grab Karma's hand. My life before this moment has been a depressing monochrome. But now that you have entered my bleak existence, I see everything in beautiful blazing color. And nothing shines more brightly, more vividly than you. I'm Rumpel, my sweet. Let us talk of marriage. I stare at Karma, waiting for her to to flirt back. At the very least, I expect her to wave Rumpel away for being a fool, but she remains eerily silent. Answer, my angel, I beg of you. Say the word and it's done. Your filthy hands off of me. Ow! Not again. I would never be interested in the likes of you. Come on, go on, lad. Give him a good beating like the one you gave me. My queen, there's no need for violence. What did you call me? Please calm down. Rumpel is still recovering. What is going on? Karma as a man doesn't take kindly to being flirted with or proposed to. She is a man? But your face, your voice, your breath. Ow! That's what you're focusing on, pervert. I worship all aspects of the female form, but my particular favorite has always been... Ow! Do yourself a favor and shut up. I never would have known, but why would he do this? Don't look at me like that. I have my reasons. Is it because of your curse? Yes. I am undone. My heart is in pieces. You knew him for 10 minutes. For those that can hear the music of their heart, like it takes only a look to fall madly irretrievably in love. I must leave. My heart will need time to heal. Oh my god. The princess is indeed lucky, as I am available for teaching duties. No doubt I'd be the better choice, as I don't go about deceiving the world. Excuse me? Oh. From one side of flirting to bitter enemies, and all in the span of a few hours. The man broke my heart! Oh my god. Alright. Go to Rumpel. I suppose I can ask Rumpel. Enough girls seem to like him, so he might have some sound advice. I find Rumpel in between his orders and pull him aside. He looks oddly relieved. Ah, princess, you've saved me. Saved you? From a heinous overload of work. I'm pretty sure Rumpel does less around here than me. At least I finish the work I'm given, unlike Rumpel who gets distracted by every single thing. Dear Lucette, if you've called me here, then you must want to confess something to me. What? Perhaps you'll confess your undying love for me? I scowl at him and cross my arms. I came to ask you for advice, but perhaps I'll go ask someone else. You came to ask my advice? Rumpel stares at me clearly shocked. I guess that is because out of all the people I would ask, he probably seems the least likely. Then I will assist my sweet princess. What kind of advice are you looking for? Perhaps you'd like to learn how to make a man swoon or how to stroke the embers of the heart? Is flirting the only thing that is ever on his mind? I came because I want you to teach me about goodness. Goodness, but my sweet, all the advice that I just suggested would teach you just that. Being romantic will not teach me how to do good. Rumpel dramatically places his hand over his heart. But being romantic is good. Don't you see the smiles on the lovely ladies' faces when I speak with them? I cannot imagine why they smile like that. Rumpel's persistence is annoying. To be romantic and loving, that is the epitome of goodness. Show someone affection, they will return it twofold. I can only stare at Rumpel as I wonder why I even decided to ask him. Or you could just be kind. Everyone is kind in their own way, princess, so what do you say? Perhaps you would like to practice with me? I'm sure your smile would brighten up my week. No, I'm certain of it. I have work. I quickly turn and leave before Rumpel can continue. If I have to be romantic to earn a good deed, I'd rather be cursed like this forever. Period. Oh no, Mr. Broom. Alright, go back to Rumpel. I find Rumpel taking a break at one of the tables. Surprisingly, he is by himself and not surrounded by the usual blushing ladies. You are not surrounded by a flock of ladies. You must have done something to offend them. Rumpel looks at me, the surprise apparent on his face. Princess, have you come to mend my broken heart? Excuse me? I was speaking with a lady here only hours ago when she told me that she was betrothed to someone else. That happened hours ago and you are still sitting here? Rumpel places the chin on the palm of his hand, looking very tired. In mourning, the heart is a fragile thing, princess. Won't you help heal my shattered heart? Rumpel stares at me when I do not answer. That would count as a good deed, you know. Helping you would count as a good deed. Doing things out of the kindness of your heart is a good deed, princess. The kindness of my heart. Why would I want you to help me when you've done nothing for me? Kindness isn't a thing that needs to necessarily be returned, princess. Single instances of affection can make a heart lighter. Why does he always go through trouble of making his words sound so much fancier? I will not help you mend your broken heart because that would be an act of stupidity, not kindness. Rumpel's shoulders slump as he frowns. Ah, now my heart is even more fragmented. You suffer from a broken heart every day you are rejected. Of course, but to pour your heart out to someone only to be rejected is a cruel fate, princess. You probably deserve rejection with the way you flirt with everyone, so no, I'm not going to help you. Deal with your own broken heart. I turn around and walk away. The acts Rumpel puts on are annoying. Why? You're so mean for no reason. Alright. Choose Rumpel. Chapter 3, The Flatterer. I do not know why the first person that popped into my mind was Rumpel. Just because he puts a smile on ladies' faces with his flirting does not mean he can help me do a good deed. And yet, here I am. I find Rumpel on break, surrounded by a few giggling ladies. His hands make dramatic sweeping gestures as he showers them with compliments. And you, my sweet, are like a sunshine peeking through the clouds on a dark day. You litter the ground with so much golden light and make every flower reach out toward your warmth. On second thought, maybe I should reconsider. Princess! Rumpel notices me, however, and immediately waves me over. Bye. I just remember that I have something to do. I turn around to start walking away, but I am immediately stopped when I feel Rumpel's hand on my shoulder. I slap his hand away. Fierce as always, you remind me of a rose with thorns, princess. He leans closer and winks at me. But the thorns are what make the rose so alluring. Are you always so persistent, or do you actually want me to slap you again? Your slapping me is but a small blockade in the road. I will never give up on you, princess. Does he enjoy it when I purposefully try to ignore him? The most brilliantly sparkling gems are buried deep within the ground and take much effort to unearth. What? Princess, you are like one of those gems. No, I am not like a gem. Rumpel, why would you deal with someone like her? What? Lucette is like a budding flower, and I want to do my best to help her bloom in whatever way that I can. You've come to me for advice, right? How did he know? The look of shock on your face is adorable and so absolutely satisfying. It seems I hit the nail right on the head. Rumpel, she is obviously too stubborn to admit that she needs your help. These women are infuriating. Oh my god. Rumpel leans a little closer to me and suddenly he is whispering in my ear. Let me tell you something, princess. Making a person happy just to see them smile is definitely a good deed. Huh? Making someone feel important is never a disservice. What do you think? I'm pretty knowledgeable, aren't I? All he ever talks about is doting on people, flirting with them, and making them smile. Rumpel continues talking, which is why I will make an excellent partner. I take a step back. Rumpel is now looking at me with a triumphant smile. How did you... I am very perceptive, princess. You overheard my conversation with Parfait? She told me about it. She did? Only briefly. So you're not perceptive at all. Princess, you cannot see it, but I'm drowning in my own tears. He just assumed I was going to be partners with him, which is very annoying. I do not even know why I was considering partnering up with Rumpel when he says the same things over and over again. And I do not think I could be around him day in and out. Oh my, what do I spot here? Dolora appears before us, a sly smile on her face. Slacking off, you two? I'm on a break. The break ended about 5 minutes ago, Rumpel. And Princess, I think there's a room that needs attending. Fine. There is no use complaining, and I would rather get away from Rumpel. Rumpel turns to the ladies and smiles. My lovely ladies, I will be back later, and I promise that we will continue our conversation without any interruptions. Oh, and Princess, we'll continue our conversation later as well. I walk off before Rumpel can try to shower more of his compliments onto me, making a person happy just to see them smile. Can such a thing really be considered a good deed? The days at the tavern go by quickly over the next week. Princess? Princess? You've been staring off into space. I was just thinking. I just finished using Mr. Broom and now I'm helping Annie sort some of the shelves in the back. Rumpel has taken up the serving for today. The women always enjoy him, but the men are always glaring at him. They're jealous of Rumpel, I think. Who? The other men. Anise looks over at the other men that are glaring at Rumpel as he drifts between tables. I'm worried about Rumpel too. What are you talking about? You were looking at Rumpel with a funny expression on your face. No, I wasn't. My words are clipped and my voice is cold. Anise looks at me sadly, but I do not care. What I do is none of her business. I think the girls are jealous of you too. What? I glance around the tavern and notice that there are girls glaring at me. I am not unaccustomed to these glares since people have always looked at me this way. During the times I left the palace, people gave me the same looks, but this feels different somehow. Why would they be jealous? Because you're Rumpel's partner. I am not his partner. You're not? He's been telling everyone that you are? What? I never agreed to being partners with him. I felt your longing gaze upon my back, and I have arrived, my princess. Rumpel suddenly appears before the two of us, smiling brightly. I suddenly have the strong urge to slap the smile right off his face. We are not partners. But princess, you asked for my advice that I gave to you because I care. No one else cares as much about you as I. And so I proclaimed us both partners because we are matched made in heaven. Oh my god. You are so overwhelmed with gratitude that you are lost for words. If I could throw something at you, I would. A punch packed with as much strength as your love. I could only groan in response. Oh my. Hello everyone, it sounds like you're having fun. How was this fun? Rumpel was never fun. All he ever does is spout nonsense. He doesn't mean any harm, princess. He's just filled to the brim with so many compliments and he needs to get them off his chest. Well, he can go direct them at one of his many other adoring fans. I shift my gaze to Rumpel and furrow my eyebrows at him. Or do you only direct them at me because you enjoy how much I ignore you? I only wanted to help, princess. That's what partners do, right? But we are not partners. Just try this partnership out, princess. I promise it will be worth your while. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, princess. You can always change partners. Lady Parfait, you've broken my heart. You are very good at healing your broken heart by now, Rumpel. Anyway, I am sorry to interrupt. I only need to speak with Anise to make sure that she doesn't need any help with a particular list. A list? A list of herbs for me. And Anise has been nice enough to gather herbs for me. Lady Parfait, is this about your body? What's wrong with your body? It's nothing to concern yourself with, princess. My body is just a little frail because of the burden on it. That's right. And Parfait mentioned having to bear the crystal and Lucis. A thought occurs to me as I look at her more closely. Wait, couldn't you use magic to heal yourself? Parfait shakes her head and sighs. I don't have the ability to heal. None of us do, except for one particular witch who calls herself the Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor? Is something wrong? Rumpel shakes his head and gives her a wistful smile. That name just sounds familiar. It's likely you heard about her from someone else before. Humans do know of her existence after all. A witch? She's not a fairy? For some reason, I thought fairies would be more likely to heal people, not witches. She is indeed a witch, that is what they say. Though I've never met her myself. She is the only one who can heal illnesses with magic. She doesn't associate with other witches though and keeps to herself. Nobody has known where to find her for a very long time. Suffice it to say, we can never seek out help from her even if we wanted to. Parfait shakes her head. No, unfortunately not. Rumpel looks grim, but Parfait quickly dissipates the gloomy atmosphere with a clap of her hands. If Delora was here, she would say, alright, story time is over. That was all very interesting. Interesting, but it does not really help anyone. Your body is the way that it is because of the Great War, then? Like I told you before, the Great War has made my body a lot weaker. This is something that cannot be healed, and I don't have an heir, so... Parfait looks about ready to say something but goes silent. She has a sad look on her face, and I don't understand why. 𝐸𝐬𝐮 immediately speaks up. I think I'll be okay, Lady Parfait. I was actually going to go on an errand run in a few minutes. Do you need any help? I would be more than happy to escort a lovely lady like yourself around town. 𝐸𝐬𝐮 pulls a list out from the bag nearby and holds it out. There are only a few things on the list as far as I can see. Don't worry about it, Rumpel. It's not that much at all. Rumpel stares at the list. His expression suddenly smooths into something more serious. May I have that? 𝐸𝐬𝐮 hands him the list and slowly he takes a pen out from his pocket. I stare. He looks over the list quietly and then scribbles some things down on the bottom. Afterwards, he hands it to 𝐸𝐬𝐮. I've added some things that might be helpful. The herbs on that list are for joint pains, and you might want something a little more general. Are you a doctor? How does he know all that? Everyone is staring at Rumpel with wide eyes. Even Parfait looks impressed. You've used herbs before, Rumpel? Maybe, I don't remember, but for some reason names came to the top of my head as I was looking at the list. Thank you. It is always my pleasure to help a lovely lady. Now, 𝐸𝐬𝐮, please let me accompany you to the town. I would love to help with whatever I can, and more names might come to me. That sounds nice. Thank you, Rumpel. Rumpel turns to me with a mischievous smile on his face. Whenever he looks at me like that, I know he's going to suggest something ridiculous. Princess Lucette should accompany us for the experience. I do not need experience. How are you going to shower people with compliments if you know nothing about them? Being out in town will be good for you. Rumpel has a point. The more you expand your world, the more willing you are to learn more about people. I do not need to be lectured. Oh, Princess, it wasn't meant to be a lecture. I'm just letting you know that experience is invaluable. Come on, Princess, let us escort the lovely 𝐸𝐬𝐮 around town. What about your work? Rumpel puts her fingers to my lips and grins. No one seems to have thought of that, so it'll be our little secret. I slap his hand away, but he just grins at me jovially. How did I get dragged into this? Please, don't stay out too long. We won't. I make my way into town with Rumpel and 𝐸𝐬𝐮. The majority of the conversations we have are one-sided, with Rumpel giving us both the usual compliments. He never seems to tire of it. Rumpel helps 𝐸𝐬𝐮 pick certain herbs and a few other medications, and accepts all of the compliments she gives him with a triumphant smile. I know 𝐸𝐬𝐮 knows about herbs because she's helped me before, but how does Rumpel know so much about them? This must be a part of the past that he does not remember. 𝐸𝐬𝐮 enters the story by herself at one point, leaving me alone with Rumpel. I'm a mysterious man, aren't I? I turn and look at him and notice the easy smile adorning his face. A man with amnesia is full of secrets after all. I bet you're even more curious about me. Women always love mysterious men. I do not particularly care. But Princess, if my curse is my amnesia, then shouldn't you care somehow? As partners, we're gonna help each other out, right? I do not see how I can help you with your amnesia. Maybe this is a spell that is only broken by a true love's kiss, shall we see? He leans towards me, a playful smile on his face. I am accustomed to this behavior by now, so this does not faze me, and I merely sigh at his nonsense. You already said yourself that you need to gather entries from some kind of journal. Ah, Princess, you're no fun. A little kiss wouldn't hurt anyone. I would die before I kiss you. Princess, that's so sad. He says that, but he is still smiling. Why is he so unfazed by everything I say to him? You only ever have terrible suggestions. It was a mistake to trust you might have good advice. But I have great ideas. You haven't helped my curse at all. I have been trying, though. You haven't even told me how to get a good deed. I told you before, Princess, compliments make a person happy, and making a person happy is a good deed. So you flirting with women and using shallow compliments on them is a good deed? On the surface, the compliments may seem shallow, but if you swim a little deeper, complimenting people cannot be a good deed. But making them happy is. All you have to do is listen to people, sympathize with them, maybe get to know them, and you can make them happy by doing even small things for them. Women enjoy their compliments, Princess. Besides, how could I see such beauties and not compliment them? It would be a disservice. You give compliments to people you do not even care about. Princess. Rumpel's voice trails off as he stares past me. His smile falters for a few moments and a look of confusion ripples his features. I turn to follow his gaze and see a small boy staring at us. He is shyly hiding behind some kind of notebook. There's that seriousness again. It was the same thing that happened when he added something to the list for a parfait. Then suddenly the expression changes into Rumpel's usual bright smile. Hello there, would you like to come and speak with us, young sir? Oh. You don't remember me, sir? Oh, do I know you? I used to come to your clinic. You saved me before. The boy draws closer to us, still hiding shyly behind his notebook. I'm sorry, little sir. I'm afraid that my memories are a bit scrambled right now. I can't even remember my own name. Really? Where is Anise? Why is she taking so long? The last thing I want to hear is a conversation between Rumpel and some child. Is he gonna shower this boy with compliments too? It's a shame that I can't remember a boy as bright as yourself. And there it is. I'm not that bright, sir. Not as bright as you, but I want to be. He holds up his notebook, which has a small name scribbled in the corner. The words, "My dreams," are written on the front cover in cursive letters. What's this? I want to be just like you when I grow up, so I started a book of dreams just like my mom told me to. She said I could become a doctor too, so long as I tried my best. A doctor? You forgot you were a doctor, sir? Oh, Rumpel, a doctor? The boy continues to hold out the book, and finally Rumpel takes it and flips it to the front page. Rumpel is holding the book close to his face so I cannot see it. I raise to the tips of my toes and attempt to look over his shoulder. At first, Rumpel does not notice me as he stares at the page. Then, blatantly, he realizes that I am there and lowers the book so I can read too. I lean so close to him, our shoulders brush. My eyes scan over the page quickly. The handwriting is crude, barely readable actually, but I can still make the gist of it. Rumpel slowly reads the words aloud. When I'm older, I want to be exactly like the kind doctor that saved me when I had nowhere else to go to. The boy's face flushes as Rumpel reads his words aloud before his curious gaze lands on me. I don't remember you. I look at the boy irritated. Are you the doctor's wife? Rumpel suddenly looks up, eyes wide. He looks down at the boy, then at me, his face suddenly solemn. I am surprised by the words that leave his mouth next. Yes, she is. What? He takes my hand in his and looks down at me, an almost sad look on his face. What is wrong with him? I want to be this, but she would slap him. Let go of me. Rumpel's eyes crease with worry as he holds tightly to my hand. The sadness in his eyes becomes anxiety, and I see something like fear dancing in his eyes. You really think it was my fault? The look in his eyes is so vacant, almost like he is looking through me. It is as if he is in some kind of trance. The way he looks at me makes my skin crawl. His grip on my hand tightens, making me shudder. Rather than slap his hand away, I reach out with my free hand and slap his face. I stare perplexed at the sudden bafflement on Rumpel's face. Did the slap to the face knock him out of that strange trance? He is being even stranger than normal, and the intensity of the look in his eyes is scaring me. Rumpel stares at me for a few moments, blinking slowly. Oh no, I blinked out. I'm sorry, princess. What just happened to him? The way he was speaking was so strange, almost like he was in some kind of trance, but I know how people are. They lie and they put on faces. I'm sorry for spacing out. If I invade your space, then I am sorry. You are apologizing? Rumpel puts a hand to his cheek where I slapped him. I think I deserve that. Thanks for getting me out of whatever that was. All at once, that sheepish smile breaks into something cheerful again. He is still smiling at me even though I was so curt with him. Rumpel is so confusing. The boy looks bewildered. Don't worry about that, little sir. This one here is a feisty thing. I deserve whatever she just did. So, she's not your wife, sir? Rumpel looks a little surprised and then laughs. Unfortunately, no. The beautiful lady here is not my wife. Rumpel absently rubs at the back of his neck as he looks up at the sky. I'm not entirely sure of what just happened, but it seems like I recovered something very important today, or the beginnings of something important. Something important? Is he talking about a memory? He hands the book back to the boy, then leans down and sets a hand on the boy's head. A bell chimes behind us, and as 𝐈𝐧𝐟𝐸 comes out of the store carrying a bag filled with what I would assume are herbs and medicines. The boy once again cowers behind his book. Oh, who's this? The wonderful little sir that helped me regain a very important memory. An important memory? Rumpel stands looking triumphant. I, my good lady, am a doctor. Oh, really? Truly. Rumpel turns back to the boy, who he asks a few more questions. He even asks the boy his name, but to my surprise, the boy shakes his head. I'm sure you told me your name, but I don't remember it. It is like my curse. No one remembers me being a princess, and no one remembers Rumpel's true name. Rumpel thanks the boy again many times over and even buys him a few pieces of candy. The boy's eyes are practically glowing with excitement, and he does not stop smiling. After we see him off and start to head back to the tavern, I began to contemplate. I'm curious about something. Oh? You said that you needed to fill your journal with memories in order to get them back, but the journal you just read wasn't yours. It appears not. It seems that the 3 entries that triggered my memories just need to be written by people I know. Reading them triggers a memory, and then the full entry probably appears in my journal. I ought to check in when I get back. I see. But even without looking in the entry, a memory came to your mind? Rumpel gives a short, distracted nod. It's not complete, so I'm hoping that something really has appeared in my journal. It feels like it must, considering I remembered something so important. Do you remember anything else at all? The young man we just met, I believe that he used to come watch me work before. I knew him. He used to look up to me. He was a sweet child. The memory is foggy, but yes, I believe something did happen to him. He became ill. The details of how I saved him must be in the journal. Even though this does not pertain to my curse, I am curious what his journal might say. I can't remember fully, but the memory feels sad somehow. He turns to me, eyebrows knit together. It is strange to see him with such a serious expression on his face. I really am sorry about earlier, Princess. I think I was on the verge of a memory, but then it got tangled up in my head. I am surprised by his sudden change in topic. I shake my head slowly. He is quiet for a few moments before suddenly his smile comes back and he laughs jovially, telling us there's no point in worrying. At the town's outskirts, I turn, feeling eyes on my back, but no one is there. Oh, okay. Weird. We get parfait the medicines we purchased in town as soon as we arrive back at the margin. Then Rumpel proudly announces that he is a doctor to anyone that will listen to him. Everyone seems happy for him, save for the marching patrons that find Rumpel annoying, who are mostly men. Afterwards, Rumpel asks 𝐈𝐧𝐟𝐸 if he might be able to take over the medication for parfait, if only because 𝐈𝐧𝐼𝐸 is busier than him. Rumpel hasn't been in the marching long, and yet he's already found something to help break his curse. And then there's me. I do not think anyone will be able to help me. At the end of the night, when I finally have time to myself, I return to my room to rest. The next day, I am sent right back to my chores. Rumpel was nowhere to be seen in the morning, and 𝐈𝐧𝐼𝐸 says it is because he is tending to parfait. He appears later in the afternoon, still full of smiles and silly flattery as he goes back to serving. How does he have so much energy? At the end of the day, I plop down on the settee to rest. My legs are weak from all the walking I've done today, and I can still feel the tiredness in my arms from all the sweeping with Mr. Broom. Princess, I notice 𝐈𝐴 standing beneath the doorway, smiling at me uncertainly. Thank you for your work today. Why is she thanking me for work I obviously do not want to do? It's not as if I've asked to do any of this, but you still help. 𝐈𝐴 nervously shifts on our feet. So I just wanted to say thanks. When I do not make any effort to continue speaking with her, 𝐈𝐴 gives a little nervous nod before heading back toward her room. Not long after her departure, I hear an exasperated and familiar voice. I should count my lucky stars, for they are giving me a rare opportunity to meet with my lovely princess this late at night. I should have gone to my room. Rumpel stops before me, winking. The moonlight on your face makes your beautiful eyes sparkle like the most precious gold, princess. I'm not in the mood for your flattery. But princess, flattery is just a compilation of compliments. Everyone loves compliments. I do not care for your compliments. Or Lady Anice's thanks either. He heard that. You should learn to let people spoil you. I stare at him. This is the last thing I had ever expected anyone to say. My whole life, I had been called spoiled and rotten, the ice princess. Even Dolores and Parfait want me to do these good deeds because they think I am incapable of goodness. I clench my fist and continue to stare at him, not understanding the swell of emotion inside of me. Why is he being so nice to me? Your first lesson is learning how to let people spoil you. He draws back his hand, reaches into his pocket, and presents me with a small yellow bag. What's this? For you, my sweet princess. Ooh. Like I said, she wouldn't do what I do. Like, I would accept the gift, she wouldn't. So I'm just gonna say, like, don't accept it. I cannot accept your gift. But princess, my advice. You have no reason to spoil me. Princess, this is what I've been trying to explain to you all day. You don't need a reason to spoil someone. It doesn't always have to be about paying someone back. Rumpel smiles a little sheepishly, then he places the bag in my hand and curls my fingers around it. You deserve nice things, princess. You barely know me, and yet you still say that. Barely know you? We may not have known each other personally, but that doesn't mean I don't know enough about you. I'm giving you this gift because I truly want you to have it. Besides, this is both a thank you and an apology gift. I thank you for accepting me as your partner and an apology for my behavior yesterday. I don't remember what I did, but both you and the boy seem frightened. Aww. Cute. I look down at the little bag. I open up and inside is a little white chocolate piece fashioned into a shape of a flower, a lily. It's not much, but you absolutely must accept it, princess. Otherwise my guilt will drown me in dark shadows of sorrow for the rest of the time. Lilies are my favorite flower. Aww. They say you give a white lily to someone you enjoy spending time with. Oh, and in floral language, they also stand for purity and majesty. He winks at me. Perfect for you, princess. Why? Why what? Why would you give this to me? No matter what you say about doing nice things for people, I don't see how that applies to me, and why would you thank me for being your partner? I did not even want to be your partner at first, but you do now? I am unable to withhold my surprise. Rumpel raises an eyebrow and then sighs. Princess, you don't trust compliments, do you? Mother always told me that people were two-sided, that they say anything to make you believe they were your friend. No? Never fear, my sweet princess. I'll make sure I compliment you until you learn to accept them. But, no buts. I derive my happiness from making ladies like yourself happy. The compliments may seem strange to you, but don't worry. You'll see it in time. See what? The connections between people. You assume I'm just a flirt, but I get to know an awful lot about people. It's the reason I can guess so much about you. What could Rumpel possibly know about me? So, what do you think? Are you more attracted to me now because of my mysterious aura or my doctorly sophistication? He leans closer to me, his eyes sparkling. I could be your own personal doctor. I will slap you if you touch me again. Rumpel pulls back and raises both of his hands in surrender, but the smile does not leave his face. You really are hopeless, aren't you? Do you think so? I thought the events from today might have proven otherwise. Oh, speaking of which, I read over my journal earlier. His expression becomes oddly solemn. Shall I enlighten you? Why would you tell me all this? Oh, you're not interested? I thought you might be since I was your partner. If I don't listen, you'll still tell me regardless, so feel free to share. Rumpel sighs as he flips the journal open. Unfortunately, it was not much. The memory began coming together again as I was reading, but a lot of it still doesn't make sense. I glanced down at the entry he has stopped at. Look at the bottom of this page, Princess. I followed his gaze to the bottom of the page and paused, noticing a conspicuous gap. There's no signature, and I always sign the end of every entry all right. I wonder if that might be the final piece of the puzzle. The final piece of your curse? If my name refuses to show up in the book, it may very well be the final memory I need to regain. You believe that the signature will be what gives you a true name, then? I have a feeling that might be the case. It was the first thing I noticed when the entry appeared. That would explain why the boy in town didn't know my name either. And then there's something else. Something else that is missing? The journal entry is cryptic at best, vague, almost like an incomplete puzzle piece. I stare at him, not understanding. Slowly, Rumpel begins to explain. It says here that the boy's family rushed him to my clinic. He had a terminal illness that I could not cure. He was at death's door and I couldn't save him. But he's still alive, isn't he? He even said that you saved him. Yes, there is a resolution in the journal, but it is not very helpful. I glanced down at the journal entry as Rumpel continues to speak. I refused to give up. I knew there had to be a way to save the boy. I never gave up on my patients. In the journal entry, I described someone who came to help me save the boy. He lifts the book and points to the words, reading them aloud. I met her for the first time tonight. She told me she had some way to help a boy, so we struck a deal. I hope I do not come to regret this. He snaps the journal shut, startling me. He sighs as he runs a hand through his hair. That's it. Someone helped me somehow and I made a deal. I'm assuming this is related to my curse, but I can't say how. Why did you write so vaguely? I wish I could ask my past self that same question. So in the end, you're still not sure when you were cursed. Rumpel pauses and then shakes his head. I believe it started here, not the curse, but the events that led to it. There's a reason this is the first memory to be triggered. It's important. For a few moments, the two of us are quiet. Rumpel's curse is a mystery, not because he is hiding it like Karma is, but because he does not understand it himself. After a few moments, Rumpel begins to laugh, breaking the silence. I look at him startled. What's so funny? Oh, it's so funny. It's just, this is all very mysterious, isn't it? And my mysterious past makes me more alluring, doesn't it? Only Rumpel could take such a serious moment and change it into this. Well, what do you think, Princess? Are you drawn into the mystery of it? I have no choice. You'd tell me even if I didn't want to know. Oh, but you do. I can see the curiosity in your lovely golden eyes. And I could see it earlier today, too. Thank you for accompanying me to town. I believe that I only met the boy because you were there to guide my way. We were looking for medical supplies. That boy appeared through mere coincidence. No, it was more than mere coincidence. It was destiny. Fine, whatever you say. Listening to him is exhausting. It makes me realize how tired I am. And all these revelations are making my head spin. I'm going to bed now. I'm too tired for this. It has indeed been a busy day. We will continue this enlightening discussion some other time. Perhaps. I turn to walk away with a little chocolate in my hands. As I walk back toward the darkness of the hallway, Rumpel's soft voice echoes behind me. Sweet dreams, my princess. Chapter 4, Compliments Value. You waited, but the children didn't come, did they? They promised they'd be back today. We even crossed pinkies. Promises are futile, dearest heart. But I've told you before and I'll tell you again. People are selfish creatures. They will always put their own well-being before others. No one does anything selflessly. To put your trust in someone is weakness, Lucette. Even those that make promise will only keep them if it benefits them. And you, my sweet, were obviously not beneficial to those children. So they didn't like playing with me? No, they did not. Come here, darling. You don't need those other children. The two of us can play together as we always do. I can always trust you, Mother? Of course, my love. God, her mother brainwashed her. My head feels foggy. Maybe it was because it took me forever to fall asleep yesterday. And then to make things worse, I ended up having that dream. Mother, you are the only one I can trust. Right? I slowly slide out of my bed and make my way over to my dresser. The little bag is still where I left it last night. I open it up and let the little white chocolate lily fall into my hand. Is he really trying to help me? I remember his face yesterday and his bright smile as he presented this to me. I slowly run my fingers across the delicate white petals. He couldn't have known lilies were my favorite flower. There is no reason to be sentimental about something like this. It is just silly. I am about to put the flower back in the bag, but I stop, eyeing it once more. Slowly, I bring it to my lips and bite off a small petal. It is actually pretty good. I stuff the little flower back into the bag and make my way downstairs. The market is not busy this early in the morning, but everyone is starting on their chores. At least I assumed as much when I see Anise and then Waltz, who is helping her stack things. Then I hear rising voices and realize that not all is calm. At least I don't have to pretend to be something I'm not. Oh god, here we go. You say you're not pretending when you go around flirting with all the female patrons day in and day out? You cannot seriously mean all of the drivel you spout. Karma and Rumpel stand on opposite sides of a table staring each other down. A teacup with what looks to be cool tea sits close to Karma, abandoned. Flirting with a lady is not a crime. One day your flirting is going to get you into even more trouble than it already has. I've never had a lady said I mistreated her, not once. Oh, I'm sure many could attest to being more than slightly annoyed. You're only jealous that I speak to ladies without a disguise, aren't you? Karma slams his hand down on the table, shaking it. The tavern grows quiet. Waltz looks over, his eyebrows furrowed with worry. If you so much as make one more comment about my curse, then stop making comments about how I speak. The two continue to glare at each other. It almost looks like as if Karma might circle the table and slap him, but the fight freezes as Jurian strides up to the two men. It's too early for the two of you to already be at each other's throats. But he started it. All I did was make a comment. He was the one that picked a fight. There you go again, twisting words. Jurian stomps on the ground. The two men again once turn to look at her. It's my job to break up unnecessary fights, and I will do it. If you two must continue fighting, go do it somewhere else, like the forest, where you can't disturb anyone. Both men turn away from each other, obviously agitated. Rumpel's expression is cloudy as he makes his way over to the bar to begin helping set the tables. Jurian notices me watching. She waves at me with a terrorist smile on her face. Sorry you had to wake up to that, princess. I shrug as I make my way over to Mr. Broom. It is like waking up to two children arguing. Agreed wholeheartedly. Jurian sighs before looking at me thoughtfully. Maybe you could have a word with Rumpel later. I have no idea how their argument even started, but maybe you can get to the bottom of it. I am not a babysitter. But I heard the two of you were partners. Anyway, hopefully this doesn't happen again. Good luck with your work today, princess. Jurian walks off, vigilant as always. I notice Garland looking at her from the bar, a slight frown on his face. I start working around the tavern, starting first with the cleaning and then with the stacking. Delora makes snide remarks about my slowness as I work, and I try my best to ignore her while occasionally throwing insults back at her. It is as if she has nothing better to do. The door to the tavern opens and Parfait steps inside with a bright smile. She looks more energetic than usual. I wonder if this is because of Rumpel's medicine suggestions. Later, I manage to catch Rumpel when the two of us are both on break. He looks pleased to see me until I mention Karma. Why were the two of you fighting earlier? What a sad day it is that the princess talks about another man to my face. Just answer me. I was getting ready for the events of today, as always, speaking to the lovely woman who filter in and out of this place, when the beast appeared behind me. Even his insults are dramatic. Your flirting is distracting me, he proclaimed. Well, your flirting is annoying. But all I'm doing is complimenting women, and I'm not impeding anyone's work. I thought the only reason he was calling me out on such a thing was because he was actually jealous. You should have seen his scowl. And here we go. So I politely told him to mind his business, but he was relentless, and when he continued to insult my demeanor, well, I had to say something back, but I wasn't the one to start the fight. I swear, they both really do sound like children. No doubt Carmen would be blaming Rumpel. Princess, you don't really think I'm so confrontational, do you? I think Karma is far more confrontational than Rumpel, but it does not help that Rumpel always snaps back at him. The two of you are both at fault. But Princess, in the end, you're still having a childish argument. I think that Rumpel might try to protest again and am surprised when he shrugs his shoulder and sighs. Yes, it was childish because that man is a child. I roll my eyes. Your irritated scowl chills my heart, Princess. I feel a tinge of excitement. I'm leaving now. There is really no point in having this conversation. It is a problem between Karma and Rumpel. They aren't children. They can figure this out on their own. Oh, Princess of my heart, why must you depart so early? I ignore Rumpel and leave him standing where he is as I return to my shift a little early. Honestly, I would rather much focus on work than Rumpel. He can be just as tiring, if not more. Though, after what happened last night, I do not think he is as terrible as I thought. Aww.